Okay, folks, we're going to get started. I'm going to try to be respectful to people's time. I am recording this session. This way, we will be able to provide it to you in case you want to go back and maybe you missed something, or for the families that aren't able to join us tonight, they'll be able to view this at their leisure, at their own time, so that everyone has the information. And that's the point of this evening. So, just to let you know how this is going to work, in the chat, my assistant principals, Laura Cianciata and Angela Lopez, will be answering any questions that you have. Um, I'm trying to embed questions that I know that parents have asked in the past, questions that you have asked when you sent the emails to Ms. Cianciata. And periodically, I'm going to pause what I'm saying after several slides, and then ask Ms. Cianciata if there are any questions that haven't been answered with regards to whatever I had touched upon at that time. Going to try and give everyone all the answers that you're asking for. I hope I have them, and so we'll get started. So once again, welcome to New Voices. My name is Frank Giordano. I'm the principal. I have been communicating with you up until this point via email, and I want to welcome you to our school. Now, I'm welcoming the class of 2028, and 3 years is going to go by very quickly. I always tell parents at the sixth grade orientation that middle school really is a blur. You're coming in, and then 3 years later, and it really goes quickly, we're graduating. And not to, have, shortchange anyone, but the 3 years really does go quickly. And I've always had parents at graduation come up and tell me, you were right, 3 years went by very quickly. You've been in schools where, for the most part, you've been there for 6 years, from pre-K all the way through grade 5. Middle school is a quick stop before high school and then college. So, welcome to the class of 2028. 2028 will come fast, but we don't want you growing up that quickly. And parents, we're going to try to make these 3 years a great time in your child's life so that they'll look back fondly on their middle school experience. Now, some important context here, and before I even go any further, I will provide you with a copy, a PDF of this presentation. And any of the links that I show you will be live links in the PDF. So you'll be able to access them at that time. So please don't think you have to write down any information. Everything will be provided to you by tomorrow morning. Hopefully by 10 o'clock in the morning, we will have provided to you the link to the YouTube recording and a PDF of this. So sit back, relax, and don't worry about trying to take copious notes. So here are some important emails that, in case you need to reach out to us at any point in time. Once we get our in-school communication tool up and going with our sixth grade, that's how we'll do most of our communications. But please know that any of these individuals, including myself, feel free to email if you have any questions. Also know that if you send me a question or a concern, I might have one of these other 4 people reaching back out to you. So please don't take a slight to it. This is my group. I trust them. I trust what they do, what they say, and also they keep me in the loop of what they're doing. So I will always be involved in whatever is that you're bringing to us, but please don't take a slight if I have any one of these individuals reach out to you. Talking to them is exactly like talking to me because they will bring it to me. And then we will work as a group to solve whatever situation needs to be solved or get you whatever information that you need. So First day of school, we're going to be sending your children home with these blue emergency contact cards. These cards you filled out before in elementary school, they do not follow your child to the middle school. It's a two-sided card. Now, these are very important because if there ever is an emergency where your child is sick, we have to get in touch with you. We need to know how to get in touch with you, number one. Also, who is allowed to pick up your child? Who are you giving permission to? So if, heaven forbid, your child is sick, needs to be picked up, if the person is not on the blue emergency contact card, and that person has to be older, 18 years old, 18 years or older, we need to know who that person would be that you're going to send. Now, they're still going to have to present ID when they come into the building. And please know we do follow all DOE protocols with regards to safety. So we do have the doorbell system where you'd be ringing the doorbell to gain entrance into the building. You'll be stopping at the security desk where ID will be checked. No one, um, no one without ID can pick up a child, even if they're on the blue emergency contact card. Sometimes I do know that your child is sick, no one can pick them up. You're going to send someone who's not on the blue card. At that point, you'll reach out to us at the school, let us know who is coming, and we'll still ask for ID. Also, if there is someone who cannot pick up your child because there's a court order, please provide us with a copy of that page of the court order when you do send back the blue emergency contact card, and send it attention to me so that we can make appropriate arrangements to ensure that that person does not have access to your child. So please know that if you are excluding someone, i.e. an estranged spouse, we do need the court order because of legality purposes. But we will not release your child to anyone who is not on the blue emergency contact card or anyone that you did not give us express permission to do so verbally. So please, when you do get these on day one, fill them out, send them back with your child for day two so that we can start organizing them and getting this in place. Now, a lot of what I'm going to be talking about right now is just some logistical stuff, and I will get to a lot of the things that you did send us questions. So please be patient with this whole presentation. I am sending you the link where when you do get this, you can click on this link here and fill out the school lunch application online and not have to do a paper copy. Please know that we are not the IRS. We do not share any information with the federal government. This is for funding purposes. The more children that do receive free lunch or reduced lunch, we get additional federal dollars for that. So we are asking every family to please submit an online application or the paper form when we do send it home so that we do have it on the record. You might not think that you qualify, but it is possible that you do. And if you do, we are in a better place in terms of getting federal dollars to supplement the dollars that New York State gives us. So I do please ask to that you do take a few moments, fill out the application, and please know that we do not share the information with any government entity. This stays inside the DOE at all times. Now, on site, we do have a school nurse. Now, there are some parents who send questions out about EpiPens and nebulizers, inhalers, and so on. The nurse will keep those items, but you do have to fill out a medical 504 plan and for us to hold on to that so that we can create a schedule for your child to take their medication. Now, at the bottom here, this is a live link where you can go directly to the 504 form. Now, please know that this you can, it's a PDF that you can fill in, but you have to print it out. and you have to send it to the school. This is not an online submission. So if you have a 504, if you had a 504 in fifth grade, it ends in June. So you would have to renew that 504 with us. The nurse will not hold on to any medications without a medical 504 on file with her. Also, any kind of testing accommodations that you are requesting, this is the same process to complete that request. So please, if you are familiar with the process and you have done the 504s in the past and you're expecting to have one in place, please click on the link. If you haven't already downloaded one over the summer, fill it out. The quicker that we get it, the quicker we can review it and get it approved. And then we can make sure that your child has whatever necessary services slash medications available to them at the appropriate times. Now, for our students, we do have additional support services. We do employ a full-time social worker and a full-time guidance counselor to support all of our students' social and emotional needs. The names of the individuals are below in red. Miss Dina Miller is my guidance counselor, and Miss Lindsay Bernstein is my social worker. Now, Miss Miller's DOE email was provided to you in an earlier slide, but once you get enrolled in our in-school communication tool, which is our Jupiter system, and you'll hear more about that in a few slides, you'll be able to type their names into the to column and be able to have the drop down, find them, and send them out emails. So these are two important names. They also deal with if there's ever any kind of issue between students, they'll be the ones to conflict resolution, solving all problems, and making sure that every student feels supported. They're going to their job is going to, in the first couple of weeks, to ease the transition for our sixth graders. I know it's a very anxious time, and we're going to do everything possible to ease and smooth out that transition. So before I get into vaccinations, Ms. Cianciata, are there any questions about any of the topics that I just spoke about that maybe I forgot to mention?
Not a question, but it is possible with the new procedure for 504s that it was completed in June at their elementary school. And
Okay.
they could email me to make sure it's valid for this year before filling out any forms.
Okay, so that's my assistant principal, Laura Cianciata. You have her email, and I've been CCing her on all the emails to you, and will continue to do so. So if you do have any 504 questions, you can just email her directly, and then we can get the ball rolling even faster than we anticipated. Now, there are some vaccination requirements for middle school. This has nothing to do with the COVID vaccine. Please know that. The Department of Health mandates that every student, once they turn 11 years of age, gets the Tdap dosage. So I believe this is the second dose of the Tdap that your child will have gotten. Now, it's not before age 11. So please know that if your child is 11 now and has not gotten their second dose of the Tdap vaccine, we need to get that on file. Or if your child will be turning age 11 at some point during the school year, at that point in time, then the clock starts where we have to get that vaccination requirement. Now, when it comes to vaccinations, please understand, I am the messenger. I work for the city of New York, and the Department of Health can force me to exclude students who have not gotten the vaccination and do not have an approved exemption. Now, the exemptions are given at times, but they are rare. And please know that the moment your child turns 11, I'm not excluding your child. We will work with you. If you are working to get an appointment or you have an appointment and it's in a few weeks, we will be as flexible as we can be. But please know that if weeks and months have gone by and the vaccination hasn't been attended to, the Department of Health will force me to exclude children who do not have that vaccination. Also, please know, and it's been a misunderstanding, and I've had to do it only once in my entire career. The misunderstanding is that, well, my child doesn't have the vaccination and I'm not doing it, and I'm sending my child to school. Your child will not attend class. Your child will sit in the main office waiting for you to pick them up. That is the law. Please, once again, I am the messenger. The importance of this is one, for everyone's health. Also, and I'll be honest with you, I can be fined personally by the Department of Health, and I am not paying any fines. They will work with us if the parent is in the process of getting it. So please, I am stressing this. At 11 years old, we do need the Tdap vaccination, and we will reach out to you either by email or just a phone call, just a gentle reminder. It is not a gotcha. We are not wagging our finger in your face. It is not that. It is just a gentle reminder. Hey, please attend to this. Also, and this mostly affects seventh graders. Students in grade 7 have to then get, in addition to the second dose of the Tdap as a sixth grader, the vaccination for the meningitis virus. So this is also something that must be done beginning in grade 7. So please understand that, once again, Department of Health, and these are their regulations, not the federal Department of Health, the New York State, New York City Department of Health. Now, Jupiter, I had been starting to allude to it. This is going to be our communication tool. On day one, your children will be bringing home to you a letter explaining to you how you sign into the system. Now, we will work in school with the students and the teachers to sign them up. Now, students will have their own account. Parents will have a separate account. Now, if child is going between two homes, you want each parent to have a different account, that's fine. The access code that we send home for parents is the same access code for any additional access that you want to grant to, let's say, a grandparent or an aunt or uncle or a spouse. So you use the same information that you created your own personal account with parents. Now, also know that separate parent accounts do not get you don't respond to the other family. So you can keep your communications private with the teacher if you don't want another family entity to know of the communication. And the only way that it will happen is if you manually add that other person to, because we've had situations before where a child splits some time between two different homes, and unfortunately it happens in life that those two homes don't really speak to each other. So there is privacy between those communications and the teacher. When the teacher sends home a communication, that teacher will send it home to the parents of any person who signed into the child's account as a parent slash guardian slash family member will get that communication. But when they reply, they're only going to be replying to the teacher. Now, this system is important because you'll be able to see your child's grades in real time as teachers are entering grades. Once they've graded assignments, you'll be able to see. So if there's a missing assignment, if there's a score, please know that it will be there online. I'll also be, after the first 3 weeks of school, communicating with you directly only through the Jupiter system. Teachers will only be communicating through the Jupiter system. So it behooves you to sign into the system as soon as possible. So once you get it on Thursday and your child comes home, start setting up your accounts. We will start sending out some test emails and you'll be getting some important information. But for the first 3 weeks of school, I'll be sending information personally to your personal email addresses, which I have been up until this point, and the Jupiter account. And then before I stop with the personal emails, I will let you know. I'll let you know that this is the last message. And we'll also be sending messages home if anyone has having issues. And I'll do this obviously with the personal emails, signing it to Jupiter. We will help you out. We will set up time for you here or have someone call you. So we will work with you to get you into the system. It's important that every once in a while that you do check this so that you're updated on your child's grades. Please know that your child's grade at the beginning of a marking period will change dramatically as teachers enter scores because they may be entering additional scores in a particular category, or they're going to be entering scores in a different category. And I'll give you an example. A child who does their first homework and gets a perfect score on it has 100 average in Jupiter. Now the teacher gives a quiz opening up a different category. And there are grade breakdowns as to what percent is homework, what percent are quizzes, what percent are projects and participation, and so on. So now once we start adding other categories, it's no longer 100. It's going to be averaged between the two until we have a full complement of categories. Each subject will have different breakdowns for point values, but those breakdowns are consistent on a grade within a discipline. And you'll be getting a lot of that information on an evening in September when we have curriculum night. That also will be recorded and sent to parents. We'll be sending home also information. I believe that now I'm not sure if it's in the parent handbook. And Miss C, if I'm wrong, please correct me. I have a lot of information flowing around in my mind right now, but we will get you all those breakdowns. Your children will bring home breakdowns of the rubric so that you are aware what constitutes what. Now, the Jupiter accounts, like I was saying, you'll be getting home the letter. You'll be creating your own account, sharing that access code with other family members that you wish to have access to the account. And it's very important, parents, please, when you use it, use your own account. Do not use your child's. When your child uses it, they need to use their account because there are different features with different types of accounts. Teachers will be sending students emails at times with homework assignments or reminders. They will also send it to parents, but some things are more geared to the students. Some things are more geared to the parents. So there are times when only one entity will get and not the other. We've also had situations in the past where the parents shared their password with the student, and the teacher is communicating with whom they think is the parent, but it's not. And it ends up being the child. And in the end, parents not getting the messages, and the child is pretty much screening the emails. So please keep those accounts separate from your child. Also, there's no reason why you can't have your child's password. That's what's called being a parent. So just don't share yours. That's all I'm going to say. Now, student transportation. We are aiming for the first Friday of school to have all our student Omni cards given out. That is the new name for what used to be called the student Metro cards. Now, students will be given Omni cards for subways and city buses, and this is all determined by the New York City system. We don't decide who gets these cards and whether it's for buses or train or it's for both. It's based on the address. It is determined by the system. So if the child, and here is my recommendation, if the child is going to be splitting time between two different homes, and one parent lives further than the other, it's possible you may want to change the address of the student to the further location so that the Omni card is a greater Omni card, meaning it'll be for buses and trains. But that's a conversation that the family needs to have and how best to tackle this. Yellow school buses are only for students with IEPs, special education students with an individualized educational plan that have busing mandated on that particular IEP. So those are the only two options here. It's the Omni cards. A lot of our students are getting dropped off or picked up, which is fine. And the yellow buses for IEP students who qualify. We do not have the yellow buses for general education students. So please know that. Once again, we're aiming for Friday to have the Omni cards in hand to the students so that they'll go home with it Friday. Now, the mass transit system, they do know that students are coming back to school. They know that students will be getting their Omni cards in due time, and they are flexible. Now, the Omni card that I'm talking about, and the student Omni cards, is good for 4 free rides each day. Now, student can use their Omni card whenever they want to take up to. They can keep on tapping it. So they get 4 free rides each day. Now, this is free transfers, unlimited. Okay. It's all day. It's not just certain hours. So the Omni card is 24/7 and it's every day of the school year, not just school days. So it's a nice thing for the kids to have if you're a family that likes to go to places in the city and takes the subway. Your child will have their school Omni card, and it is good to use on weekends and holidays, and it'll also be valid over the summer break from July and August. So this is something that is a valuable piece of paper. So please make sure that your child has like a little wallet or something to put it in. And we do have a system for replacing lost or stolen Omni cards, and I'll get to that in just a moment. Miss C, any questions about any of those last few topics or something from the previous?
No questions, but I just want to clarify. Some parents are emailing me and not messaging me, and I just happened to check my email.
Oh,
Uh,
with questions.
correct.
Okay, folks, if you have a question from a C and it's pertinent to this, there's a chat that you can actually access here in the presentation, and it'll go right to her right now because she's not checking her emails because she's attending to the Zoom. So please make note of that. Now, on the school website, if you haven't already gone, there are some quick links that we put in a drop-down tab where it'll take you to the Jupiter portal if you don't know how to get there. There's also a vehicle to report your child's attendance and absence, and also how to get and replace a lost or broken Omni card. Now, when I go into the link and I go into the quick links, you'll see these things here for the reporting of, and this is the Jupiter, where this is the login page. Okay, very simple. Now, the quick links for reporting a child absence. It's a Google form. All you're going to be doing is filling out, answering these questions, and hitting the submit button. And that's the important thing, hitting the submit button. So if you're keeping your child home, your child's not feeling well, whatever the reason is, this is so that we code your child's attendance, absence, meaning properly. So if your child's not feeling well, we're going to put down that it's a sick day, that it's not an unexcused absence, that the child just didn't come to school. If you have a doctor's note, there's no vehicle to upload that in this Google form. You just send that to the school when your child returns to school from their illness, and have your child give that to their homeroom teacher. And I'll explain what the homeroom means in a few moments. And that'll get to us, and we'll have that on file because by law, we have to keep those notes on file for a certain number of years. So this Google form, very quick, you can hit submit, and we'll have a proper coding for your child's attendance. Now, same thing with the let me go back, replacing the Omni card. If they lost it, it's also a Google form with some drop downs. and we'll be able to get your child a replacement card as quick as we can. So these are the fastest ways. So if you know your child's not coming to school and you want to send something and you just can't sleep at night, send it at 3 o'clock in the morning. We won't be responding to you at 3 o'clock in the morning, but it'll be there waiting in our inbox in the morning. So those are some important links in our quick links. Now, there are also some important resources, and that's the next slide. I did email you today the parent student handbooks that has a lot of important information, and please review it as a family. This way your child's aware, you're aware, and so on. Also some information about guidance. There are also some parent and student links. This is more in about 2 years plus, high school questions. There's a link to the parent association, and there's also a link to the school leadership team. So this is also a helpful drop down here. And we spent a lot of time last year trying to figure out how best to organize information on our website. So that was this slide here. Now we are going to have some September events. And I did have some questions about, well, you didn't have any tours. Can we see the school? I'm going to try and work something out. It'll happen. I just don't know how it's going to look. We're going to have an open house for sixth grade families to get a sense of the building, to see classrooms. I might not have teachers there that evening or afternoon. Having teachers at these events are contractual issues that are collectively bargained with the city, that I have no control over. But I will put it out to my teachers if they do want to be here on those evenings, but their rooms will be open. And it'll be a nice way for you to get a picture of the environment that your children are in. If your child is talking about the humanities class, your child will be able to take you to the humanities class and show you around, show you the art studios. This way you have a frame of reference for when they're explaining these things. Now, you will be meeting the staff for our curriculum night. Now, going back to the collectively bargains, that is a virtual meeting where the teachers will be answering questions, going over the curriculum, going over the grading policy. You'll be able to put a face to the name and a voice to the face to the name. So that'll also happen in September. The open house and the curriculum night are going to be two separate events. I'm going to look at the calendar and work with my teachers and see how we're going to plan this out. I'm thinking that we do the open house probably after the curriculum night, but I'm not exactly sure yet. But I am going to make it at a time that's accessible to all families. I'm not going to do it at 3 o'clock in the afternoon because I am acknowledging that people have to work. So we're going to work with you with this. School dance, we are going to have a back to school student dance at the end of September. We are always looking for parent chaperones to either kind of chaperone the dance floor, help the PA sell things, embarrass your child by dancing with them on the dance floor, which is highly encouraged. So we do want to see parents there and also be able to kind of rub elbows and start meeting each other. And also sometime in September, there will be a parent association meeting. All of these events, I will be sending you home emails ahead of time once we have the dates and whether it's going to be in person, whether it's going to be a Zoom link and so on. But we will get you the information as quick as we can. As you see from this summer, I've been trying to be proactive in getting you information with a lot of notice. And hopefully we're going to continue that practice. Ms. Cianciata, any questions about any of these things that I've spoken about that I forgot to mention?
All good.
Great. Guess I've been doing this a long time, Ms. Cianciata.
Yes.
Okay, first day of school. And this is where a lot of the anxiety comes. And parents, I'm going to say this, all kidding aside. 90% of the anxiety is on the parent end. And a lot of you project that anxiety onto your children. Please resist the urge to project that anxiety onto them. They are resilient. Now, the first day of school is September 4th. That is next Thursday. Summer is very close to being over. Now, I'm showing my age here. I've been the principal here at New Voices for over 20 years. So this is not a new thing for me. So we got this. So please trust me when I say we got this. And what we got is this. On Tuesday, September 2nd, we are going to email you to your personal emails the vehicle that I've been using up until this point, your child's class placement. It's going to come as a PDF. It's going to come alphabetized, and you just scroll down, find your child's name and the homeroom. There will not be any privilege information on this. It's going to be children's names and homeroom, and that's it. Okay, this way your child knows what homeroom they are in. Now, the reason why I am delaying that until Tuesday the 2nd, and also before I even go into that, this doesn't mean you're getting it at 8:30 in the morning. You will get it before I leave on Tuesday. So if you don't get it by lunchtime, please don't freak out that you missed something. Once I'm done with my morning meetings and I have the building up and going, that's when I'll kind of send everything out. Once again, I'm delaying it until the 2nd because schools start opening and they start registering students. As students who were to be coming to New Voices registered at other schools, they get discharged from our roster. So what I want to try and do is balance out our registers. Now we'll be doing that all the way up until the first day of school. So it is possible that your child is placed in class 601 and you get that list on the 2nd. And on the first day of school, we move your child to another class. Wasn't because they did anything wrong. It's a sheer numbers game. That's it. I want to try and balance out the classes so that one class is not heavier than another. Now, any child that did not get the PDF, hasn't been getting the emails, we have a mechanism for them. We will have people with all of the class assignments and be able to give it to any parent or any child who requests it on the first day of school, which is the 4th. Now, students, in terms of lineup, I'm going to be talking to you about that in a few moments, so I'm not forgetting that. Now, throughout the day, students move as a cohort, meaning 601 travels together to all their classes. 602 travels together to all their classes. They are not walked from room to room. They are going to be going on their own. We're starting to embed in them some responsibility and some independence. Now, first day, teachers are going to be showing them where to go. So we got that. They will not be lost. By day 2, they're going to be experts on the building. So please know that. Class sizes currently in the 6th grade, all of our classes are either 30 or 31 students. I do not expect them to go any higher. I cap my classes at lower than those numbers, so I am not anticipating the Department of Education sending me any more students. I know that there are always been a lot of news reports on the class size law. We are not engaged in that yet. The whole city has to slowly implement that, and they have targets that they have to reach. So we're not going to be implementing that here at New Voices next year. There's also some funding issues that go along with it. So we're kind of letting the dust settle before we start figuring that out. And there's also a space issue because we do share a space with PS 295. So we do have to share the facility. So we don't have the ability to grow unlimitedly. Now, first day for 6th grade. Now, I hope that isn't blocking. Okay. Breakfast is served from 7:45 to 8:10 each day. We will have the kitchen open for any child that wants to partake in breakfast. Any early arrival, parents who have to go to work, we will let them into the building at 7:30 a.m. We will have security at that point, and I start having supervisory staff come in around 7:30, 7:35. So I know some parents have to get to work. So 7:30 is as early as we're going to be able to let them in. Now, on the first day, all sixth graders will be entering the building on 18th Street. Please be careful. We have two schools on this block. Middle School 88, which is the large light brick building at the top of the block, and then us. We are the red brick building in the middle of the block. We are covered in scaffolding, so you can't miss us. Look for the scaffolds. That is New Voices. We've had students in the past go to 88, and then we had to go looking for them because we're calling up the parents. Hey, your child didn't come to school. Parent now anxious. I dropped my parent off. We find out they dropped them off at 88, and we have to go find them in an 88 classroom. And the opposite has happened, where 88 students have come to us, and we've had to send them to their school. So please know we're the red brick building at the middle of the block. Sixth graders are going to enter the building without parents, and they're going to go to the auditorium. In the auditorium, we're going to organize them by class. This is how they're going to know where to go. So each class is going to have a different area to sit in. The areas will have some signage. Students will sit there. Now, at 8:15, the students are going to be brought up to their homeroom, which is the room that they're going to start each of their days at by their homeroom teacher. And the homeroom teacher always is one of their academic teachers. So they will be in an academic class to start the day. Homeroom is where they're going to be hanging up their jackets. If they have umbrellas, if they have scooters or whatever, they can put them inside the homeroom closets. We do not have lockers here. Our building is well over 100 years old, and it was built and designed for elementary school students. Was never designed for big bodies, middle school students. So we don't have the space for lockers in our homerooms or in our hallways or in any other large areas, which we don't have. So students will be able to hang up their stuff there so they don't have to schlep their jackets all day long. They will be taking their book bags with them and their books. They don't go back and forth to homeroom unless their homeroom is the academic class that they're going to. Student schedules will be given out to sixth graders day one in their homeroom. Now, my sixth grade is going to spend their first two periods in their homerooms. They're going to be getting their schedules. They're going to be getting their student planners, the blue emergency contact cards. It's also one of their academic classes. They'll start going over that criteria and those expectations. It's a getting to know session. Some of my homeroom teachers act very proactively, and we ask them to, and kind of show students where their classes are. We'll have some of the arts teachers there. That'll help the students find their art studios that are going to be part of their schedules. So the students won't get lost day one. If they do and they don't know where to go, there are always people in the hallway. They'll always be able to help them. So we're always on the lookout for sixth graders who are kind of looking around and they have that deer in headlight look. So folks, we're always on the lookout for them. So please know that, we will take care of your child. When your child comes to New Voices, I consider them one of my own children. Albeit I ain't paying the bills, but they are part of this community. They are part of the New Voices family, and we treat them as such. Now, I did send you a supply list. I sent it as attachments to some previous emails. It's also on the school website in one of the resources where there are links, student and parent links. And this is also a live link here on the presentation that you can click on and go directly to the page or just to the website and find the supply list. Miss C, any questions so far about any topics that I spoke about?
Good to go.
Okay. Now, schedules and grades. Let's talk about time schedule. When does the school day start? Homeroom begins at 8:15. Students are going up. We send them upstairs. If it's nice weather outside, we're going to have them outside just to kind of stretch their legs. Breakfast is available to them. By about 12 minutes after 8, we start sending them up to their homerooms. They have 3 minutes. It's more than enough time to get to their homerooms. Attendance is not taken the minute they walk in the door, so please know that. Once the kids are settled and the hallways are clear, typically around 8:20 in the morning, 8:21, maybe 8:22, my homeroom teachers are instructed to start taking attendance. If a child comes in after that point, they're marked late. And being late is not a good thing, especially if a child wants to attain honor roll. Also, it's not good, especially when the child gets later on in years at New Voices. High schools start to see that pattern. So we want children on time. So 8:15, they're in their homeroom. It's a quick 15-minute turnaround, and then we go right into period one. A lot of times, homeroom and period one, it's in the same room. So we try to minimize the amount of transitions. PM homeroom, at 2:30, students are being dismissed. If they have anything in their homeroom, they can go back to their homeroom to get it. It's not a sit down and wait. They just get their stuff and then they'll exit the school. Also on 18th Street. So if you're dropping off your child and you're going to be picking up your child, it's through the 18th Street side of the building. 19th Street is reserved for the elementary school students. So we will not be allowing New Voices students to go out that way. So if you're going to be picking up your child and driving, maybe you want on day one, park your car on 6th Avenue, walk up the block because there will be a traffic jam. Maybe you want to have a spot that you show your child, meet me here. Maybe you want to tell your child, wait at the school and I'll come pick you up and you'll be a few minutes late. That's okay too, folks. So we're not going to just throw a child into the street. If they're waiting for their parent and you're running late and you've let them know you're running late, we'll let them go back inside, sit until you get there so that they don't feel anxious, like they've been forgotten. So please know that that's dismissal. Now, lunch. You have the option. You can send your child with lunch, or you can have your child sample the succulent cuisine that the New York City Department of Education offers. Either one is fine. So lunch is on school grounds. Students do not leave the building for lunch at all. The only time we exit the inside of the building is go to the recess yards, but students do not leave school grounds for lunchtime. Here is the reason why. I do not have enough supervision for students when they're walking the neighborhood. Also, as a parent, and this is just me, okay, so this is on me. If that was my student, if that was my child, and my child got hit by a car, I'd be upset. I wouldn't want my child leaving the building. So I won't put anyone else's child in a position that I wouldn't put my own child in. So please know that. There aren't the facilities nearby us. They would have to go all the way down to Fifth Avenue to find a few stores. So if you are sending your child with lunch, that's great. If you're giving your child a lunch bag, please listen to what I am about to say. Put your child's name on the inside cover of the lunchbox and your child's homeroom, 60 whatever. I have had children lose lunchbox after lunchbox after lunchbox after lunchbox in the beginning of school, and parents coming up irate that their child's lunchbox has been, quote, stolen over and over again, only for them to go to the lost and found and find all of the lunchboxes. If we do not have a name and a class, I don't know whose it is. We will make announcements announcing we found some lunchboxes. We'll do the best that we can to describe them, but absent any information inside that lunchbox, and do it in marker, please. We don't know whose it is. And I literally had a parent one day last year walk out with 5 lunchboxes because they got tired of keep on going back to Amazon and buying another $25 lunchbox. Same thing with the water bottles. If there's a place that you can put your child's name on it in a Sharpie, do so. We find those things all over the place. Students are notorious for quote unquote having things stolen, which in translated into English means they lost it, they left it somewhere and they don't remember where they left it. Sometimes they leave it in classes, sometimes they leave it, it falls out of their book bag, or the strap breaks and it falls on the floor, it's left in the lunchroom, and so on. So please, with the lunch bags, please do that. 3 lunch periods. We begin at 10:45. We end with a 12:15 lunch period. Lunch periods will change from day to day depending on your child's class schedule. Very rarely does a class have the same lunch period every day. We do share a facility with the elementary school, so um, we had to come up with a plan that works so that we can service all children in the building for both schools. Now we do have outdoor recess, weather permitting. Um, Now I mentioned the scaffolding. They're going to be doing roof work very soon here. Now, very soon, translated from Department of Education speak, means anytime between now and 2 years from now. So I think sometime during this school year, they're going to be putting up more scaffolding on the side yard, in the 19th Street yard, on the sidewalks to accommodate for the work that they're about to do on the roof. They've been planning out this project for 3 years. Part of it is the ventilation system that we were supposed to have during COVID. They finally got around to it how many years after COVID has ended. So they're going to be doing that and a few other things, some brickwork. We're going to try to make them move as quick as they can. At some point in time, I may reach out to parents asking you to kind of start reaching out to your local politicians to light a fire under their feet so that they can light a fire under school construction authorities' feet so that we can get this project going. Because I've seen projects happen quickly and I've seen projects happen over a course of 4 years, and I don't want this to be the latter. So I will keep you updated with all of that. Now, accommodations will be made for students with food allergies. This is important, and don't put this in the chat. You're going to email Miss Cianciata or Miss Lopez or myself if your child has a food allergy and your child needs different seating in the lunchroom. We do have tables set aside for students with food allergies. They can have a friend join them too, depending on how many students have the allergies. They will go out to the same yards. They're not excluded from anything. It just gives them a place to eat where they are having minimal chance of being exposed to something that they are allergic to. So please let us know that before the first day of school so that we know. We'll search out your child and we'll expect them in the lunchroom and then make sure they understand where they can go. It is not an area that is off to the side and they're so isolated. They'll be with the rest of the students, but they'll just have a reserved table. So please know that. And that's important. That's a health issue. Now,
Wait, can I stop you for 1 second?
yes, please.
Lots of questions on about self-dismissing.
Okay. Any question specific before I just answer?
They all get self-dismissed.
There you go. In middle school students self-dismiss. If you are picking up your child, they can wait here. If you catch me outside, you can tell me and I'll keep an eye out for your child. But middle school self-dismisses, meaning they're going to go out the door with all their stuff on their own. Middle school's a little different, and there is that transition piece to it. After the first day of school, folks, middle school students don't want to be walked anywhere anymore. Now they're quote unquote, I'm big, I'm older. So they will be self-dismissed. If you give your child specific instructions not to leave the school because you are picking them up, my expectation is that they are going to listen to your instructions and I will support you on that. We will have a place for them. They can wait outside. As kids are being dismissed, we'll just ask them to step to the side so that all 460 students of New Voices are not trampling your child. Because first couple days of school prior to our after school program beginning, all students are going to be self-dismissing at the same time. Now, day one, like I said, we've done this before. On day one, I am going to do something for the sixth graders. We're going to dismiss them a few minutes earlier so that they can kind of make their way down, make their way out without being trampled over by the seventh and eighth graders who do not look when they walk. So please know on day one, your child will be dismissed probably around 2:27. I'm going to be asking teachers to have the children walk them down the stairs so that they know where they're going. So they'll be out a few minutes earlier so that we can kind of clear them out before the seventh and eighth graders come down. But students are self-dismissed. The only time they're not self-dismissed is prior to the end of the school day. If you have a doctor's appointment for your child can't sign themselves out of the building. An adult on the blue card, 18 years or older, or someone you've designated to us that can pick them up has to sign them out. They can't self-dismiss prior to the conclusion of the school day. Let's see. Anything about that I didn't answer because you saw the questions?
No, all good.
Okay. And if there still is a question about that, folks, please shoot Ms. Cianciata another question in the chat. Now, here's the schedule. Child will be getting a schedule. This is not your child's schedule, just a sample schedule. And you can see the 5 days. You can see the periods, the time frame, their homeroom, where their homeroom is, and what they will have. They always don't start at the same place. Now, for this particular class, just to give you some context, they start humanities in room 204 4 out of the 5 days. That was their homeroom, room 204. So this particular class started there. Now, some of the classes, they have double periods that they'll be there for an hour and a half block. This eases with our transitions in the hallway from class to class. Not all of our kids are moving at the same time, except for sometimes during the day. Their arts classes are intermingled throughout the academics. You'll notice the classes that they have. And this particular class had only art and theater for this time of the year. They will have all of the arts classes. This class is lunch, fourth period, fifth period, fourth, fifth. So it alternates between fourth and fifth. They're never 8 period 6. In the lunchroom, there will be mixes of all 3 grades, 6th, 7th, and 8th. We do give the 6th graders a different area to sit in. This way they don't feel overwhelmed with the bigger kids. It's still in the main area of the lunchroom, but we do reserve a few tables for the 6th graders. They do not have to sit with their class. They can sit with friends in another 6th grade class. The only thing we don't want is 6th graders sitting with my 7th or my 8th graders. So let them be 6th graders, folks. Let them know the 7th and 8th graders outside of school. But during the school day, I want them not to grow up too fast. So they can sit with a friend, another 6th grader in another class in that area. So they're not locked into certain tables. They're just locked into a certain area. Now, the 6th grade coursework. They're going to have humanities, which is reading, writing, and social studies all in one discipline. On their Jupiter, in Jupiter, it will show humanities. When the report cards come, because of the DOE, and we have to show that they had social studies, that they had ELA, you will then see an ELA class, a social studies class, and it'll be the same grade. That's their humanities grade.
That's not, no, they have social studies in ELA. There's only going to be 1 grade though in Jupiter.
Right, that's what I mean.
But it's not going to say humanities in Jupiter.
Oh, it's going to say social studies. Sorry.
That's okay.
Okay. And that's why I have Miss Cianciata, to keep me honest. But that is going to be the grade. It's going to be the same grade for both of the classes. They do get science and they do get the arts classes. So they'll have 12 periods of humanities, 8 periods of math, 4 periods of science, and 11 periods of the individual arts classes. Now, the arts classes, we offer 6 different art forms. Each 6th grade will have 2 of the arts classes for a semester. So they'll have 1 for 5 periods a week, 1 for 6 periods a week. adding up to that 11 that I spoke about. When the semester ends, they get a grade, and then they'll change to the next two art classes. And we cycle each of the classes through all of the art classes. By the end of sixth grade, your child will have had each of the six art classes so that they have a frame of reference, that have experience in each of the classes, so that they can make an educated decision on how to rank those classes in the seventh grade for their elective major. And parents, I do want you involved in that process also. But know that they will have all of the arts classes. They'll just get two a semester. Now, I know the next question, well, when do the marking periods end? First marking period, we have 3 marking periods. First one ends December 5th, next one the 19th, and the third marking period ends last day of school. All reality, the grades will be done the day or two before that, because we do have to get report cards prepped. But all the grades are numeric grades, 3 marking periods, and those are the end dates. So if your child is struggling in a class, they have plenty of time to get some extra support, whether you're intervening on their behalf, they're intervening on their own behalf with the teacher. Feel free to send out an email to the teacher. Hey, I see my kid is struggling a bit. What's going on? How can I help? What can be done to support my child? My teachers are going to be very receptive to that. Where they won't be receptive is if they've been communicating with parents to no avail, or they've been putting in these missing assignments into the system, and a parent kind of, no insult to anyone, wakes up and now it's November 25th and they're seeing all these missing assignments. We're not going to go back to September. So going back to the Jupiter account, make it a point of every week just logging into Jupiter, make it regimented. Go in it with your child. Go look at their grades. Go look at assignments that they're missing. Feel free to ask them, what happened here? Why are you missing this assignment? Maybe it was a mistake. And we do make mistakes. We're human here. Maybe the teacher entered the grade in the wrong place. Maybe your child didn't hand it in, because we had situations where child doesn't want to get in trouble and says, I gave it to the teacher lost it. Well, folks, teacher didn't lose it, child never handed it in. So keep in touch with the teachers. It's not a bad thing. Remember, they have a lot of students that they will see any given day, some teachers more than others. You have one, maybe 2 students coming to New Voices next year. So it's easier for you to kind of keep on top of your child and just shoot out those proactive emails. And or just even to say, hey, child came home and they had a great day in school today. They said you did this, this, and this. And, thank you so much. Folks, my teachers would be thrilled to hear things like that. Because most of the time, 95% of the time, we're only hearing things when we've done something wrong. Okay, supposedly. But please, we want to keep that relationship between the school and home very strong. And like I said, some teachers have less students. Humanities teachers have maybe 64 students in total. Math teachers have maybe 96 students in total. My science teacher has 180 students. So it's harder for my science teacher to keep up with the emails. She may take a day or two to get back to you, but she will. And if it is something that's pressing, or they're not getting back to you, just email myself or Miss Cianciata or Miss Lopez and Jupiter and say, hey, I emailed the teacher. They didn't get back to me. Can you ask the teacher to answer this email or answer these questions, or to reach out to me? We will do that, and we will put it right underneath the teacher's nose. And sometimes it is just a legitimate slip of memory where, hey, I'm so sorry, I forgot. I meant to do this and I completely forgot. So please keep that in mind. Now, we do use Google Classroom here at New Voices. The logins for Google Classroom are their New York City Department of Education email accounts. If a student hasn't been using that in 5th grade, we will sign them up for it. But this is the only way they can get into their Google Classrooms and some of their online applications. So we will work with them the first couple days, making sure that they can log into their classrooms, A lot of teachers are using Google Classroom for assignments to be handed in to try and lessen the amount of paper being used up. Also, it gives them the opportunity of making suggestions in real time. So please know they will be using that. Parents don't have access to the Google Classrooms. Um, Teachers can invite, where parents can view, but it's not going to be a place where you're going to see grades. The grades are going to go into Jupiter. Google Classroom is used for assignments where teachers will post assignments for students to complete, whether it's independent work, whether it's work when they were going to be absent that day, whether it's a project that they're doing. The grades will go into the Jupiter gradebook. So please know that. Also, with regards to the Google Classroom, they can't sign in, like I said, with any other email. It has to be the DOE email. And we'll work with them to make sure that they're in. And if they forgot their email password, we can help them to reset those passwords. And we encourage students to reset their passwords because we're going to just create a generic password and then that every student who would have reset their password would get. And then we want them to reset their password so that other students don't have access to this. Miss C, any questions about grades, schedules, arts, or the Google Classroom?
All good.
Wow, okay. I get a cookie.
Okay.
Honor roll. Now, this sometimes becomes a bone of contention. So, this is also in the parent handbook. We have two different honor rolls. Yes, every child is smart. Every child is special. Every child is brilliant. And I'm not saying that sarcastically, I am saying that wholeheartedly. However, not every child is making honor roll here. Here is the criteria. For gold honor roll, there has to be an overall average of 90% or better, with no individual grade being less than 90. That's top of the top. No conduct scores of an N, which means needs improvement. And my teacher should have reached out to you at that point in time prior to that as to what's going on in the classroom, or unsatisfactory, because part of honor roll is character and citizenship. Also, they cannot be late more than 6 times. So it's 7 times or less. I'm sorry, less than 7 times. So 6 is okay, 7 is bad for the marking period. Okay, it says quarter, but I mistyped. So at the beginning of each marking period, the clock gets set to 0 again. So if a child didn't make it in one marking period, they can make it in the next. One marking period won't affect the other for gold honor roll. Same thing for silver. We do put a punctuality piece to honor roll because timeliness is important. They need to be to school on time. Absences, there is no criteria for that. So a child doesn't have to worry about they've been absent, they had a long-term illness. If they're doing the work, they're going to get credit for it. The illness is out of their control. Lateness is not. Parents, please know, and I'm going to answer these future emails now verbally. I understand that traffic is bad sometimes. You're taking your child to school. If traffic is bad, maybe you need to leave a few minutes earlier. I will not excuse latenesses. So we do give a lot of leeway here. I think 6 is more than enough in terms of allowable. But if your child is getting late to school and you are the reason, the answer to the email that you're going to send me, it's not my child's fault. My answer is going to be, I am very sorry. And that's it. Love, Frank. Silver honor roll, different criteria. Lateness criteria is still there. The N and the U criteria is still there. But silver is overall average of 80 or better, 85 or better, with no individual subject grade less than 80. So we have the two different honor rolls, the gold and the silver. Please note that later on in the year, there is organization that children are eligible to join, National Junior Honor Society. The qualifications for that is they have to be gold honor roll first and second marking period. And there's other criteria, and that's all in the handbook in terms of community service, character, there's an essay component, and so on. So please be aware of that, of all of this. Cell phone policy. Now, says TBD, and I'll explain why. The new voices policy is this. Student cell phones have to be off during the school day. Yes, they can bring cell phones to school. Now, off means off, not silent, not means sleep. Has to be off and away. Cannot use it during the school day. Turn it on as they're leaving to communicate with you. If a child is caught using their phone, even if it's the parent saying, go to the bathroom and text me, parents, please don't do that. If you need your child, reach out to us. We will go and get your child. We'll have your child contact you. So please don't put them in the spot where they're going to get into trouble. These things are not supposed to be on during the school day. That has been our policy. And then first time, it's a warning. Parent being called. Second time, parent has to pick it up. Third time, student has to start handing it in each day. That has been our policy up until Governor Hochul signed whatever law that she signed about cell phones in schools. And the city has adopted a new policy. I am going to be working with parents, meaning the PA, the SLT, and the teachers on coming up with a plan for cell phones. We may be collecting cell phones at the beginning of the day in homeroom and then giving it back to them at the end of the day, having locked devices. I will not give students pouches for them to carry around the building to quote unquote lose. Okay. And then, oh, I can't lock up my phone in my pouch. I don't have it. The budgets for schools are not limitless. And each of those pouches costs $25. There's no discount given to schools. So we're going to come up with a system, and I do want to engage all of my stakeholders in hearing their voice and coming up with something that works and moving away from the keep it off, keep it locked away, I don't want to see it policy, which I've done in the past. Because the Department of Education is mandating me to come up with a plan. And the plan cannot be that it's in their book bag all day long, unless their book bag is locked up in the closet all day long. The department is being very strict with this. Now, this is coming from the mayor to the chancellor, to the superintendent, to the principals. And it's all starting with the governor. So please, I'm not fighting with you. I have to follow what I'm being told. I think it's a good thing that the phones are away. If you don't want your child's cell phone, once we implement whatever new plan it is, and I will let you know ahead of time for these meetings. And please don't kill the messenger. I'm doing my job. But I won't fight with you. And disciplinary action can be taken against any child who either A, refuses to give their phone up or is caught using it. And I don't want to get there. That is not the relationship I want with my kids, and is not the relationship I want with all of you. So please work with me, be my partner in this, and please understand where I'm coming from and the why. If you are so dead set against it, keep your child's phone at home. There's no law that says they have to come with one. I do know them traveling, you want to be in communication with them. I get that. I get that. And we will work with you and we'll work with your child. But please know, we are your partners in this. We just don't want to be the brunt of your frustration. And I will listen to your frustration, but please put it in context.
Frank, can we talk about smartwatches?
Yes, smartwatches are considered communication devices. So if your child has a smartwatch that ties to their cell phone, that also gets tied into this policy. Ms. C, any questions? Because I'm sure I have a few.
That was a lot about the smartwatches.
Okay, yeah, smartwatches count. I don't think there's an ability to make a smartwatch not smart. And trust me, you may think you're blocking it. Your children know more about technology than we do. Because when I need something fixed, I go to the students. If Miss C's not around.
Thanks.
You're welcome, my love. Any questions? We good, Laura?
Yes, yes.
Okay. After school programs, because I've been getting some emails about that. Tried to be proactive. I sent you out the link to the after school program and the introduction to Mr. Melendez, who is going to be taking over the program. Now, it goes Monday to Friday from the end of the school day to 5:30. Same thing as the regular day. Kids are self-dismissed unless you are setting it up with the after-school director that you have to pick up your child. So that's part of the enrollment process, and he will go through that. I am going to be giving priority to sixth graders. So there should be plenty of seats for parents who wish to secure one for their child. Now, this is separate from the school musical that we put on every year and a few other school programs. I'm looking to see and why I'm not announcing what other programs, because I'm seeing which ones I can start to fold into the NIA program, which is the organization that is going to be running the after school program. So I'll be getting more information as time goes. The reason why I don't have all the information is very simple. We had a very bad experience last year, actually for the last 2 years with our NIA program. And we sat with them and we kind of cleaned up a lot of things that I wasn't happy with. New director, new program, um, mostly new employees, and so on. I take my children's education seriously, very seriously. That is my only reason to be here at New Voices. And I want them to have a safe environment, that they're being challenged academically, that they're being enriched, and it's not a waste of anyone's time. And that's what I felt that it was in the past couple of years. So we've cleaned house, we broke it down, and we're rebuilding it from scratch. So that's the reason why I don't have some answers yet. We're still putting some of the pieces together. Students do not have to attend all 5 days. When you apply, you're applying to the program as if you're going to go all 5 days. Don't worry about it. I am allowing students to attend some of the days, but they're going to be attending for that block of time. It's not that, hey, they're going to come, today from 2:30 to 4:30. It's the day for that particular designated time. So if it's only on Mondays, if it's only on Tuesdays, if it's Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, you're going to work that out with Mr. Melendez and the program. But please know, when you do apply, I believe that it kind of defaults that you're applying to each of the 5 days. Don't worry about that. And this also allows us to get more students involved in the program, because we do have slots on a Tuesday, we do have slots on a Thursday. We're going to do that. It is going to be first come, first serve. I am starting with the sixth grade, so please know that there should be no issues with getting your child enrolled if that's what you want. And then we'll take it from there. I don't think Mr. Melendez is here. Is he, Laurie? Oh, you know what? I may have forgotten to send him the link. Parents, I forget. I'm sorry.
So then he's not here.
I don't think he's here. So if he's here, he can text you there.
Okay.
I think I forgot to send them the link. So parents, please forgive my senior moment. He will be having some information nights about the program. So I do anticipate, I do expect that. Today would have just been for him to kind of like come on camera, face to the name. This is just an introductory meeting here, but he would be giving more information at his future meeting, and we'll get you those details. How to apply? This is the link. I emailed it to you. Just go in. You'll be creating a DYCD profile, Department of Youth, community activities profile. It's their site. And then you're going to search for New Voices and then apply to our NIA program. So that brings me to the end of all our slides. Lori, any questions? I'm going to use the remaining time for any remaining questions, things that I might not have answered. And we'll just do that.
None at the moment, but if anyone wants to send me, or is there a plan for a volleyball after school?
Don't know.
Don't know.
That's gonna be something that Mr. Melendez and I are gonna be talking about. I did have a conversation with him about having sports as part of the program. But now he's gonna be looking for instructors and seeing, does he have the instructor for a certain activity and so on, and that's how we're gonna be working that.
Did he state when he wants to start the program?
Yes, he did tell me that his tentative start date was gonna be September 15th.
And there's no fee.
No fee, free of charge. So the
Um,
start date is the 15th. If I am wrong on that, I will get back to you with that, but that's my expected start date.
School supplies the first day of school.
Okay, great question. Don't send your kid with everything. Plain and simple. Send your child on day one with a couple of notebooks, a couple of pencils, and the teachers will tell them what to bring on a day-by-day basis. Now we asked you to get some pencils for your kids, maybe some pens. Just send them with one each. Keep the rest at home. Lori, the calculator, do you want to talk about that?
Um,
It stays home.
yes, because we have one here, one for home. Yes.
So the calculators that we asked you to buy, that's an investment in your child's future. They will be using it for the next couple of years. And
The
also,
sixth grade one is not the graphing calculator.
right,
It's
I
not
know,
a, right.
but they still tend to use it at times. So that is for home for them to do work with it so that they have access to it. By the time they get to 8th grade, we'll be recommending a graphing calculator that they use in 8th grade algebra and also in 9th grade when they continue with algebra and other math programs. Also know that all 8th graders here at New Voices are enrolled in Regents level algebra and Regents level biology courses. We're giving students, all students, regardless of whether they have an IEP or not, the opportunity of getting high school credits. It's part of our curriculum. So what we're going to be doing here at New Voices, and I know homework is always a question. I believe in challenging my students. My goal is to get them ready for high school, and that's not something that is, far away. It will come closer sooner rather than you think. Um, so we're trying to challenge them academically. We're trying to push them intellectually. We're trying to challenge them artistically and enhance their self-esteem and their knowledge of the arts and their ability to work with each other. We're going to be doing that here at New Voices. Now I know that there has been um, rumors, talk about the homework load here at New Voices. I do not think it is egregious. A lot of the assignments are regimented assignments where students know the assignment when it's due, and it's week-long assignments and it's continual. Some of it is online, some of it is paper and pencil. Students will have a school planner where they're writing their homeworks down in so that you can see. If your child has nothing in the planner, then question why they're not copying down their homework when the teacher is telling them. Sometimes the teacher doesn't notice one particular child not writing their homework. Or if it's moving too fast, we can see how do we get that homework written into the book another way. Not all assignments will be posted in terms of what is due in the Google Classroom. Okay, so homework is regimented. A child who does not do their homework a little at a time will find the night before this is due that they are overwhelmed. And I guarantee you, this is when your child will come and say, there's too much homework. Well, what they didn't tell you was they knew about this homework for 7 days. Keep on top of your child, look in their planner, reach out to the teachers. I'm going to be encouraging my teachers to send out emails to parents if there is a big project due in a few days so that parents are on the lookout for this. We never give a child an essay to do the night before it's due. It doesn't happen that way. Everything is worked on here in school. Kids will finish things at home. Materials are here in school. So if your child is having a problem with homework in a class, going back to the conversation about Jupiter, email the teacher, hey, Miss so-and-so, Mr. So-and-so, my child's having an issue with homework. Can you help? Um, you know, work with the teacher. We'll come up with some kind of solution. In the NIA after school program, at the beginning of the program, kids are going to be getting a snack and there's going to be a time for them to do homework. We're not going to have a kid go to after school till 5:30, then go home and then have to do all this homework, because we all know who does the homework. The parent does the homework. And then the parent gets upset, and rightfully so. And rightfully so, when the parent doesn't get an A plus, they get angry. And this happened to me too. And I got caught doing my son's homework. So, but I'm not going to go any further into that story.
And NIA has devices for students to do their homework
Yes.
if needed.
Yes. And if you don't have a device at home for your child, let us know and we'll see what we can do here. Okay. So we will work with you. So that's the answer about homework. Independent reading is not homework. When a child has, our expectation is that periodically children are reading at night. That is a life skill. They should be shutting their devices. They should be shutting the television, shutting the music, and reading for a small period of time. Parents, get them to read. Hey, model with them. I don't care, but read the same book that your child is reading and make a book club. Or if not, make them go to their room and read with the door open so you can make sure they're reading. But that I never consider homework. To me, that's a life skill. But that's our homework policy in general. I am going to push your child academically. I expect high, I have high expectations for each child here at New Voices. My goal is to get them ready for high school, get them into the best high school so that they can now be challenged even further. I want the best for my kids here at New Voices, and that is my whole reason to be. My homework policy is not negotiable. I will not turn around, well, it's too much homework, you have to lessen it. Folks, I'm sorry. I'm not wired that way, and I'm being honest with you. I love each and every one of you, but I'm not wired that way. If there's an issue with the homework where your child is struggling, we'll work with the teacher to see how we can adjust that workload. And it may be modifying it for my IEP students. Maybe it's something else. Maybe it's trying to find some study hall time for them. But each assignment leads into the next. And I don't want children missing assignments, because then it's going to put them further behind. And then it's just a never ending catch up game in terms of the work. Questions, Miss C?
Yes. Do you want to briefly talk about dress code?
Dress code. Yes, we do not have uniforms here at New Voices. However, students are expected to wear clothes that are appropriate for school. What do I mean by that? There is no vulgar pictures. There is no vulgar images, no vulgar words on shirts, shorts, whatever. Also, there are some parts of the human body that need not be uncovered. I allow belly shirts. I allow shorts. But I've seen some things, not with my sixth graders, for the most part, some outfits that are very questionable. Those are the times that we will reach out to home, see if there's alternatives, or we will provide maybe a New Voices shirt for them to wear, because I don't want children feeling uncomfortable, especially when they're moving around. And this is both boys and girls. This is not a gender specific thing, because some of the worst outfits that I've seen were my boys. So, not to use gender terms here, please forgive me. But I just want to make a point of that. This is a school. Hats are not allowed in the school. Do-rags are not allowed to be worn in the school. I'm not talking about religious garbs. That's different. My job is to get students, children ready for the next grade, for the next grade, for the next grade. There is a habit of being. A student who looks like a student, acts like a student, will be successful. It's as simple as that. Folks, we go into the workforce every day. There are things that we can wear and cannot wear. It's the same thing in school. Okay. So my dress code is vague, but it's not vague. I allow expression. I love expression, but they can't be wearing anything that's going to injure someone else. So if someone is wearing those spiky studs on their neck, that's a no-no because God forbid they fall or bang into someone because my holes are tight. I don't want anyone having something, an eye poked. And that's pretty much it. I have told my boys shirts need to have straps. Boys, girls, non-binary. Kids run throughout the school. Accidents happen. I don't want anyone feeling uncomfortable. Um, so please work with us here and allow your child to express themselves, but in an way that's appropriate for school. I don't know how else to be a little vague, but not be vague. Miss C, any other questions? I'm sure there may be some questions specific to what I said.
No, I've been just answering stuff. It's fine.
Okay. Okay. And if you have the need to ever have a private conversation with me about anything, you're going to see me on, day one outside, day two outside, both AM and PM. Please, I'm encouraging you to introduce yourself. This way I can start putting faces to names and also parent to students. I really do want to meet parents outside. And if I just turn around and say, I'll be right back, I'm just in the middle of something, but I will come back. Anything else, Miss C?
All good.
All good. Okay. So, folks, what I'm going to do is this. I am going to wish everyone a good evening. I am going to end the recording. We're going to get this processed by tomorrow, hopefully by noon. I have it out to you in the emails, the link, and a copy of the PDF. You could always email us any subsequent questions if something comes to you. You could also talk to me privately. If you have a private something private to speak about that's specific to your family, I'm more than receptive to having a one-on-one conversation. First day of school, after I've gotten the building started, or coming the day before. If I have time available, email me. I'd love to make time. Going back to the open house, I'm going to try and get you all of you in so that you can kind of see the building. I want to ask my teachers what we can arrange with them, and then we're just going to go from there. So I do want you to have a great 3 years here with us. Know that we are your partners in this. We want to work with you. We want you to work with us. There will be bumps along the road. There will be times that you get mad at us. Please keep it in mind that we're human too. And we're not doing anything to hurt any individual child. And we do make mistakes at times and we do misspeak at times. So please feel free to reach out if there is a concern and we'll get it rectified. Because a lot of times, and I've had this happen, children go home and they think the teacher hates them and the teacher doesn't. It may be just something the child is perceiving. And having that conversation with the teacher really allays the parent's anxiety, and the parent can help to allay the student's anxiety, and the teacher then can speak to the child. So we don't want the children to think that anyone doesn't like them in the building, because that's not the case. Okay, so I wish you a good evening. Enjoy your Labor Day weekend. Enjoy your last couple of days of summer. I will see all of you on the 4th. And look out for the email on the 2nd with the class assignments. If there's a case where there's a student in your child's class that there was a conflict with in the elementary school, please let me know. I don't know these things, but please resist the urge to ask me to put your child with a friend. We're doing the best that we can in terms of putting kids. Know that moving one child from one class to another requires another child being moved. So it's not an easy proposition. So the goal is that children are going to broaden their friendship circle throughout their tenure here at New Voices. So good night. Have a great Labor Day weekend and welcome to New Voices, all of you.